Last week on Maps Explained, we uncovered the 8 most haunted places in America. There were tons of haunted locations in the US, but too many places to fit in one video. So this week, we're bringing you 8 more of America's most haunted places. Skinwalker Ranch, Utah. Deep in Utah's desert, Skinwalker Ranch holds dark secrets. Since 1994, locals have reported creatures straight from nightmares, shape-shifting werewolves called skinwalkers. The ranch's isolated desert location amplifies the unsettling silence, making encounters even more unnerving. Visitors sense an oppressive dread, constantly feeling watched. A family once saw a massive wolf grab a calf, and despite shooting it repeatedly, the creature vanished unscathed. The crazy part is wolves aren't native to Utah. In 1996, ranch owner Terry Sherman chased a glowing orb hovering above his cattle. Suddenly, a dark humanoid figure emerged from the shadows, silently observing him. Paralyzed with fear, Sherman watched it disappear into the night. Willow's Weep, Indiana.
The man that built the house, he died in the bathtub. There was 2 suicides and then another hanging. And I heard that 3 men had been poisoned. About 6 months prior, before I bought it, there was a man that he committed suicide in there.
Visitors to Willow's Weep report feeling a heavy, dark energy. The home's oddly angled rooms seem intentionally built to amplify negative emotions. Some visitors say Willow's Weep encourages tragedy. Shaped like an upside-down cross, the house exudes a feeling of overwhelming despair. In 2011, a paranormal investigator experienced sudden, uncontrollable sadness, collapsing onto the floor, sobbing. Later, EVPs recorded voices whispering, "Join us." Lake Shawnee Amusement Park, West Virginia.
Here, on the bank of Lake Shawnee, stands the abandoned remnants of what was once a simple, wholesome family amusement park.
Built on a Native American burial ground, Lake Shawnee feels eerie. Swings move on their own. Faint laughter echoes ominously throughout the park. The open yet abandoned park layout makes it difficult to escape the constant feeling of being watched.
We started finding a lot of pottery and Native American tools and arrowheads, stuff like that. So we stopped doing the bulldozing. We called Marshall University. They put together an archaeological team that would come down to the park. They started uncovering bodies. So that's when we knew we had a Native American burial ground on the property.
One thing I know about haunted locations, guys, whenever someone builds on top of a Native American burial ground, it does not exactly invite good vibes.
A mother brought her 9-year-old here and dropped him off to go swimming, and she went on her merry way. She came back when the park was closing and she couldn't find her son. And they looked for the son until 10 o'clock at night when they found him. His arm was stuck in the drain of the swimming pool, and it had sucked him in and he couldn't get out, and he had just drowned.
Before its doors were closed, 6 children had died in the park. And that might have been reason enough for the park to remain closed, but it didn't.
In 2010, ghost hunters capturing EVP heard children's laughter clearly on playback. When they reviewed footage, they spotted shadowy, childlike figures near the swings. No children were present during filming. And this isn't even the creepiest place. Myrtles Plantation, Louisiana. Commonly called the most haunted house in America, Myrtles Plantation's history includes murders and betrayals. The plantation is rumored to sit on, get this, an ancient native burial ground. People, please do not build on Native American burial grounds. You will regret it. Just build somewhere else. The mansion's southern architecture and proximity to dense vegetation also amplify the eerie sensations visitors experience. Paranormal investigators have recorded EVPs and unexplained footsteps echoing through the halls. Visitors spot ghostly figures in mirrors and hear spectral footsteps. In the 1980s, a visitor awoke at night, startled by a woman in an antique dress at his bedside, silently staring at him. She looked exactly like the plantation's murdered slave Chloe, depicted in a painting downstairs. Then suddenly she disappeared, leaving a chilling breeze in her wake.
The Myrtles was built in 1796 by General David Bradford, leader of the infamous Whiskey Rebellion. After his death, it was home to the general's daughter and her husband, Judge Clark Woodruff. And that's when the Myrtles' killing spree began. As the story goes, Judge Woodruff took as his mistress a young slave named Chloe.
She was caught eavesdropping on some of the family's business. As punishment, Judge Woodruff cut off her left ear.
In revenge, Chloe served the family a poisoned cake. All she wanted to do was make them ill, but instead, she killed the judge's wife and 2 of their children.
After Chloe confessed to the poisoning, she was hung.
And to this day, the ghosts of the murdered Woodruff family and Chloe herself are said to roam these unholy grounds. Rocking chairs on the veranda rock on their own. There are handprints on the mirror that refuse to be wiped away. A piano plays softly, but when guests look for the pianist, no one is there.
Crescent Hotel, Arkansas. Dubbed America's most haunted hotel, Crescent Hotel was once a cancer clinic run by quack doctor Norman Baker. Dozens of patients died here. Guests feel overwhelming unease and dread.
A gentleman by the name of Norman Baker bought the hotel and opened up what he called Baker's Cancer Curing Hospital. What's crazy about this is Norman Baker was not a doctor. He was nothing more but just a charlatan. And what they did not know is that he had already been ran out of Iowa for doing the same thing. So what he would do is he would bring people in and tell them, I can cure your cancer without any surgery, without any chemo, without anything like that. Just natural remedies and my own elixirs, I can cure your cancer. But what he would do is he would take elixirs and he would make things with watermelon seeds and inject them into people's heads and all this stuff. There's no telling how many people that he killed while he was there pretending to be a doctor or pretending to cure these people.
And bottles still containing the so-called cancer treatment.
We found a little formula spoon, a glass spoon in perfect condition. We found a bone saw.
Some of the jars uncovered here actually included human tissue.
With not only his formulas, but also medical specimens, tumors and the such that he had taken out and put in the bottles and displayed to show people.
And now those bottles are part of the Crescent Hotel Ghost Tour. More than 500 items were unearthed. Many are now waiting to be analyzed at the Arkansas Crime Lab. Many more still remain below the ground.
More than 40 people died at the hands of Norman and his hopeless therapy, and staff insist they continue to haunt the building. In this specific room, guests report faintness, temperature changes with no explanation, and passing out.
The hotel's labyrinthine hallways and remote hilltop location intensify feelings of isolation and despair. A guest reported waking at night to see a nurse pushing a wheelchair-bound figure down the hallway. Both vanished suddenly into a wall, where investigators later discovered a hidden doorway long sealed off.
Many unnamed spirits dressed in period clothing appear most frequently in the Crystal Dining Room, where the dancing ghosts are seen at all hours of the night. Most often, the decor in this room will be moved around, with no one in the room.
Bodie Ghost Town, California.
Miners poured into the area, and by 1879, Bodie's population had soared to approximately 8,000 to 10,000 residents. The town boasted over 60 saloons and dance halls, numerous brothels, gambling dens, and opium dens. An intoxicating mixture of prosperity and vice.
It's estimated that 8,000 to 10,000 people lived in Bodie. That is, until 2 devastating fires hit the town.
Abandoned after gold rush tragedies, Bodie curses artifact thieves with misfortune. The desolate, harsh, freezing cold desert landscape and decaying buildings magnify the eerie sense of abandonment. Visitors to the ghost town sense profound dread and angry spirits.
The big problem is theft or vandalism.
I mean, that's one of our huge concerns, which is why we're here 24 hours a day.
California state parks took ownership of Bodie back in the 1960s, but by the 1980s, theft was becoming a big problem. And that's when one of the park rangers decided to make up sort of a fake curse.
People said that if you removed anything from Bodie, your life would be cursed from that moment on until that artifact returned.
The curse kind of backfired. People started stealing things and then mailing them back just to see if the curse was actually true.
In 2001, a visitor stole an old coin from Bodie and was plagued by nightmares of faceless miners. Only after mailing the coin back did the nightmares stop. Eastern State Penitentiary, Pennsylvania. Operating from 1829 to 1971, Eastern State housed thousands of inmates, including Al Capone, often in brutal solitary confinement for months at a time. Today, visitors hear ghostly whispers and experience chilling loneliness. The prison's crumbling walls and echoing hallways trap the lingering suffering and desperation of former inmates. In 2005, a visitor felt an icy hand grip her shoulder in cell block 4. Turning around, she saw nothing, but bruises in the shape of fingers appeared hours later. And finally, America's most haunted place. Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Kentucky.
Waverly Hills Sanatorium was considered state-of-the-art at the time. A cure for tuberculosis was non-existent at that point, and institutions like this were set up to accommodate treatments that were known to benefit patients. For example, the structure was set up with corridors known as sun porches. The patient rooms would line these hallways with exterior windows fitted with screens. Patient beds would be brought out onto these sun porches to soak up the fresh air and sunlight. At that point, that was the leading treatment for tuberculosis.
This former tuberculosis hospital, operational from 1910 to 1961, is estimated to have seen thousands perish during the TB epidemic. Its sprawling design, intended for isolation, traps the sorrowful energies of souls who passed within the sanatorium's walls.
Waverly Hills was packed with urban legends and ghost stories. Some of the most famous include the ghost of a small boy named Timmy who fell off the roof, a tragic event that actually did happen. Many have claimed to see ghosts floating down the hall, known as the shadow people, as well as sudden temperature changes and other unsettling phenomena.
The body chute, a tunnel some say was used to discreetly remove the deceased, adds to its eerie reputation.
Perhaps the most famous, though, is the concrete tunnel within the hospital, said to have been built for the transportation of the thousands of deceased so they would be out of sight from the other patients.
In 2009, a visitor, wandering alone in the body chute, saw a shadowy figure slowly approach. Paralyzed by fear, he watched helplessly as it passed through him, leaving an overwhelming sense of dread. If you enjoyed exploring 8 more of America's most haunted places, click like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Whether these ghost stories are true or not, these places definitely give off a creepy vibe, especially at night. Which place would you have the guts to visit? And which location should we cover next? If you enjoyed this video, you'll love these next 2.